Welcome back to the Irish Mags Show, episode 65. We are officially at retirement age, lads. It's all good. This is the last episode.
It's about time.
This is it.
This is us absolutely done. We've outlived cancellation. We're now at retirement age. Congratulations, lads. Fair play.
We did it.
Before we kick things off, we have to tell you that the Irish Mags Show is proudly sponsored by Flagman Ireland, who specialize in quality digital printed flags, bunting, tablecloths, table flags, and hand wavers. Their online store also stocks and sells a wide range of international and domestic flags and soon-to-be Irish Mags flags. Eyes emoji again. Including also stocking the heavy woven government standard Irish tricolour in various sizes and finishes. And they ship products all over the world because we know that we are the Irish Mags global.
Yes.
We are massive.
Yeah, indeed.
Any queries or to see any of the products available, and as we mentioned, if you'd like to get your hands on an Irish Mags flag, not sure it's available yet, but it's coming very soon. If not, check out flagmanireland.ie for all your flag needs. And you've seen it before. Check out the irishmags.com. Every flag we've ever had has made it up there and has made it over to Newcastle and back, thanks to Alan Williams, in one piece, just about. Excellent stuff. I am joined by the usual suspects to bring my evening down, but maybe bring your day up. It is, of course, Alan and Crisho. And Crisho, a recovered man since yours and my adventures when we went to see Newcastle against Nottingham Forest. I think he took Monday. Monday was tough on you, I believe.
Monday was tough. I didn't wake up until 2 p.m., even though I have a full-time job, which is unbelievable.
I don't think hard.
Yeah, honestly, it was. I know we're going to go into it and talk about it, but honestly, I was shaking. I've been drinking Ribena. I'm not drinking alcohol anymore. I'm just drinking Ribena. I'm done. No more drinking. I'm done.
Alan, taking the pledge.
Some lads just can't handle a weekend in Newcastle with me, but you survive.
With you is the key word of that.
That's the key word here. With Paul. Jesus.
Tough one.
I prefer not to speak. Well, we are gonna talk about our adventures. So we're gonna have a quick look back. There's 2 matches to cover since we last got together. We're gonna talk about the Forest game and touch on some of what we got up to over the weekend. Loads of Irish Mags in attendance. We then unfortunately have to talk about that Liverpool game, which was a weird game in terms of how I feel about it, but ultimately a disappointing one when you look back on it. It's good to have 24 hours to dwell on it, I suppose. But more importantly, we're going to brighten up your eyes and ears because we're going to actually do something we haven't done before and we thought about in the past because there's a lot to cover here. We're going to be officially giving the Irish Mags top 5 Newcastle United goals. As usual, we'll be focusing on the Premier League era or the last basically 32 to 3 years from 92, 93 onwards. That's a lot of goals, especially when you have a lot of entertainer eras involved.
That's my Jackie Milburn goals. Okay.
Yes, sorry, Crisho. Yeah, hate to break it to you. All that research that you did on the wireless. And hopefully, I mean, I expect some debate because I don't know. We had controversy when we picked our all-time 11. Even the jersey rankings caused a bit of havoc. Let's see what comes out with the top 5 ranking goals. And we'd love to hear all of the listeners' views in the comments. And then before we wrap up, we get to preview another game, a cup game again, where we're going to be facing Brighton and Hove Albion at the weekend. And as we only have one Premier League game in the next 30 days in the next month, basically, it's all like cup games, and then there's an international break, I think, towards the end of March.
Check out April, though. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. I'm not ready for that. I
think there's 7 games or 6 or 7 games.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. The league is wild. I'm not ready for it. We're not even going to look that far ahead because I'm just not able for it.
No. God, no.
God, no. What we should do, though, is let's take a little look back before we dive into proceedings. Start with the Forest game. One of the best first half experiences I've ever had in St. James's Park, not going to lie. Obviously, we went 1-0 down. I was sat behind the goal that Hudson-Odoi scored in, which out of the 7 goals scored on the day was the only goal conceded in the goal I was sat behind. And if you have seen any of Crisho's photos, they're all on the irishmags.com website. Crisho was basically sat on the pitch, I think.
Yeah.
I have a feel, Alan, I think Crisho did the thing that Mohamed Kudus always does, where he's trying to get the ball boy out of his seat. I think he just kicked the ball boy out of his seat and sat down in a stool. Is that what happened?
I actually asked him, did he have a press pass at one stage when he was sending the photos? They were insane. He was like speaking distance to Sandro Tonali when he was warming up. It was mad.
It was unbelievable. Like, I mean, they got the stewards and the Sky Sports folk and everything else. They were having a bit of crack when things were a little bit quiet or the game had stopped. Stewart just started talking away to me, thinking like, "What do you think it is? And how do you think it's going?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" But like Anthony Gordon was 3 yards from me when he was taking the corner, like because he came back kind of towards to stand off the pitch a little bit. And then Sandro Tonali kept going by, and I thought, check him out. I've got his jersey on. I got some nice photos of him just underneath the Newcastle United on the stadium. But look, I'm going to be honest with you. Also in that was Wilson, Trippier, and Longstaff, and they were having the crack almighty. I mean, Trippier was literally standing on the pitch the whole time, just screaming and shouting orders at the lads to get out, for Dan Burn and Shar to stay level. I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't know that happened, but he really does command when he's a substitute. He's kind of like a coach. But Longstaff was just jogging a little bit and then waving up to obviously his parents or his wife or whatever. But that's all he did. And that's all he did when he came on the pitch as well. Or did he come on the pitch? I don't even remember.
Didn't.
He hasn't done much. Unfortunately, he hasn't done much any time he's come on the pitch, including the match against Liverpool as well, right? So, probably the less said about that, the better. You're right, though, about Trippier. I've seen it before. He's so vocal on the touchline.
Yeah.
And the only thing that tops it is Jamal Lascelles, because he just gets himself booked on the sideline, and that's a good bit of crack. So I'm fully on board with that. Subs getting booked, I'm definitely on board. Not managers, but subs I'm okay with.
I missed Hudson-Odoi's goal. I was trying to just open my camera because I wanted to get some, I kind of thought, well, this is a really good spot. Trying to get some video and stuff. I put my head down to just open the camera and stuff. And it was a goal. I looked up and went, what the hell? I mean,
this is your fault for being a football tourist.
Yeah, tourist.
Who even are you?
Tourist.
Honestly, then I look back on it, up on the kind of, they say the new TV we have, the size of it, Jesus. And I was looking up at that and I thought, where's Pope? Was Pope having his lunch or what? Was he sitting there on the ground having some sandwiches? What was he doing?
I could see the line, like I was directly in line with it, and I could just see the space. I could see the space for the shot to come in, whatever about Pope. And it went through about 3 players in terms of Pope probably seeing it. But as soon as he had the ball, I was like, oh God, open goal. Like I could see, I literally just envisioned it going in, and it did. So maybe it's both our faults, Chris Shaw. Stadium bans incoming, never to be allowed in again. Alan, in terms of how it flipped around then, and I mentioned what it was like being in the stadium, it became disbelief. It reminded me of being at the Spurs match when we beat them 6-1 and we were 5-0 up after 20 minutes. What was the official time? Was it 14 minutes, 18 minutes that we scored 4 goals? Even less?
It was 4 goals in 11 minutes we got.
So, absolutely insane. You were watching in the bleaker, I think, right? Like,
yeah, I was indeed.
How many pints got knocked over? How many lads missed it being at the park? Up, down, because it was just bang, 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 bang.
It was mental. Like it was mental. Like you couldn't catch your breath. We were only talking about the first goal, and the third goal was into the back of the net, and you're going like, what's going on here? As you said, it was very Spurs reminiscent, where you're going, we're not going to do this again. Like,
yeah.
After the 4 goals, there's plenty of talk of will it be 5, will it be 6, will it be 7? Obviously, turned out not to be, but like those 4 goals in 11 minutes, it was just insane. Not to say the goal came against the run of play, the Forest goal, but we were fairly comfortable, and it was our mistake that they scored from. So it wasn't exactly like they were on top for the first few minutes.
No,
the 4 goals, the 4 goals, insane. And Alex Isak is just so good. It's untrue.
Yeah, no, he'd seen him in person is quite the privilege, to be frank. Even though like most of the stuff happened quite far away, directly across from the corner flag I was at, but even just his position and the way he makes himself available, and he just ties the whole team together. They have a focal point, and my God, is he talented? Like the little backflip, the thing. They were like, what was it? Hall, Gordon, Willock on that left hand side with Isak is relentless. It's unstoppable, frankly. But it was basically, I don't know about you, but the people around you, I had a lot of grannies around me. They knew more about football than the 3 of us put together, about Newcastle anyway.
Get them on the pod.
They were gobsmacked. They couldn't believe they were gobsmacked. They were like, what's happened? People were like looking around each other going, what's happened? Like, how are we 4-1 up? But
it's just like when it clicks, it clicks. Now Chris Shaw's right. We were relentless and unstoppable for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Second half, not so much, and we'll come to that in a minute. But like, obviously, when in the stadium, I didn't really comprehend the extent to the fortune of some of the goals, like and the deflected nature of some of them, and even the penalty. Having watched it back. So we'll talk about those in a minute, but can we just talk about Lewis Miley? Chris, you just mentioned the word talent. He's just he has this demeanor about him, Al, that he almost looks lazy, or not lazy, but he just doesn't look too bothered. But yet he's covering loads of ground, and he's just so sleek on the ball. He doesn't really make silly, stupid passes. He works hard. Like, I just have nothing but praise for the lad. And as we said before, he's just 18. He's just allowed a point. Like,
he plays like a 28-year-old seasoned veteran that knows exactly what to do, when to do it. There was at one stage where I was like, what is he doing? He's on the edge of our box, turn back again. I was like, just get rid of it. But then he just dropped the shoulder and found a 5-yard pass and he was out of trouble. And I was like, he's just so good. Like, there will be talk of him getting into an England squad eventually. Not necessarily starting or anything like that, but he will be in and around that conversation very, very soon. He's just looks so comfortable on the ball, and hopefully he can break into that midfield and nail down a spot, because we're looking a bit light in the midfield at the moment, and he looks to be a little bit of the answer, which is what we want.
He's in the under 21s, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's on that team.
Them, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I mean, he is like, I mean, I love when you go to the game. I don't know about you guys. I don't always watch Match of the Day, but if I go to a game, I want to watch it because I'm kind of hoping to catch my little bobble hat somewhere. And I thought with the position I had, I might be on Match of the Day. I did catch one glimpse when they ran out, but that was just me dreaming. It wasn't me. But they kind of talked about Lewis Miley, the fact that he's always checking the space before he receives the ball. He knows exactly. He's like a snooker player, but he's like 3, 4, 5 shots ahead. He's always running. The runs he makes are excellent. He's able to take the ball. Like, people were saying, what foot is he? Is he right-footed? Is he left-footed? I think he's both.
Yes.
Because he's equally as good with both feet. My God, lads, do we have a gem on our hands? Honestly, we have.
Just wait for when Arsenal inevitably need to buy a midfielder, and they'll just say, "Well, we should sign Lewis Miley because why not?" Yeah, you mentioned the both feet, because the finish on his left foot was just like, put it right in the corner. Like, he can finish. I mean, he's still so young in terms of like finding himself in goal scoring opportunities, and he's not really told to be an attacking midfielder because Bruno is kind of pushing on a lot, and then between Tonali, it's like an interchange kind of thing. But like, he's showing he can score for Newcastle first team. Obviously, having scored, was it last season against Fulham was his debut? Or
he scored against Fulham, and then he scored in the cup. Remember, against Wimbledon. He scored 3 goals for us, and the 3 of them having absolute crackers. One's a 25-yarder and 2 great finishes. Like, if you push him a little bit more further forward, he could be a serious option there. Like,
well, like a goal scoring midfielder is something we've not had for quite a while. Like, Bruno pops up every now and again, but nothing really consistency. Willock did it in his purple patch. Kabay, Wijnaldum maybe is how far back you have to go until you're talking like proper goal scoring midfielders. We need to weigh in more goals, and it would be lovely to see that come from like someone like Lewis Miley, and we've so much time with him to get it right, hopefully, and under a good coach as well. We'll use the second half. So quickly touching on the other goals. The penalty was a disgrace, in my opinion. If I was manager, I think Eddie Howe even commented on it. He did not see that coming, and he's very lucky that goal even went in, especially watching it back.
Very complacently taken.
Yeah, I think Sells, surprisingly, who's been brilliant this season, should have done better. Got a paw to it, not enough relief, I would say. Isaac was lucky. And then similarly, there was a deflection for his other goal. But I just think the one thing you'll say is, this is Isaac. Isaac scores goals. Isaac gets in the right positions. He fashions opportunities. And you earn your luck. So I don't think these are what we would call poxy goals. I think these are goals where
there's no such thing as a bad goal. Any goal that goes in the back of the net is a good goal.
Well, one of the goals came off Jacob Murphy's nipple. So, I mean, that's a goal, right? Doesn't matter.
We'll take that. Right place at the right time. That's the whole thing.
I was kind of trying to look and see, how did he actually, was it already going into the goal, or did Murphy do something with his chest or his thigh or something, or his shoulder? I don't know. I don't even know whether he touched the ball.
He did. Just on the goals. Lewis Hall was unbelievable in that first half.
Very good.
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was so good. Like, he didn't get the second assist because it took a deflection. He didn't get the penalty because it was a penalty, but he was involved in all 3 goals massively.
Yeah,
and he was just so good. And he is another gem we have in our hand.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you could see like that he was getting claps from Mad Dog Murphy. Pope was for throwing out the ball early, and he tried to do it against Liverpool last night as well. But they're throwing out the ball because to get Hall kind of just by the halfway line, he's unstoppable once he has the ball at his feet. So he's nearly gone into a left wing position. Pope's giving him the ball. He's not at left back, and then he's flying on. So he gives us a brilliant option. Like I was saying, he's totally unstoppable in that first half. Couldn't get near him.
I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question to suggest, and it's a good segue onto the Liverpool game, that he was man of the match almost in both games from a Newcastle perspective. Like he was our man of the match, let's say. Just on Murphy. Murphy had a terrible opening 15 minutes against Forest, but naturally he just turns it around, he scores, and you move on. So fair play to that. But let's move on to Liverpool then. Obviously, look, league leaders, best team in Europe by a mile.
Yes.
Haven't lost. They've lost one game all season in the league to Forest, actually, incidentally. Make that make sense. But this team is so well drilled. The football they play, the understanding they have, the one-touch football that one of the hardest but best ways to beat any kind of a press is through quick one-touch football, and they did that. So it made our press basically defunct. It just didn't work because they were able to just maneuver the ball around. And then look, I was going to put my fist through the television last night if Ali McCoist fucking drooled all over Salah one more time. Like him, and it was. I like Ali McCoist normally, but it was actually becoming unbearable. The Irish Mags chat was raging and even they were saying in other chat groups I'm in, same with you, Alan, I'm sure, it actually became unbearable. But you can't argue with the fact that Salah is unbelievable at football this season. But like we just said, Lewis Hall did probably the best any defender has done against Salah this season and probably many seasons. And this is a game where we still lost 2-0 and Salah did get chances and got an assist and was brilliant. Alan, I think everyone, all I saw in terms of positives from the game was mainly about Lewis Hall.
It's the only positive that really came out of that game. Let's be very honest about it. We didn't lay a glove on Liverpool. We didn't get near them. They didn't get out of second gear. They cruised through that game.
I would contest and say we had one particular chance. There was two chances, but Wilson was offside for one of them. His other chance, though.
Yeah, he could have taken that.
I mean, everyone's saying it, and I can't hide from it. I think Isak puts that away all day.
Oh, 100% he does.
And that turns it into a 1-1 game and puts Anfield on the edge and just, starts to get our fans a bit louder, a bit more belief into our players. But does it mean we would have held on and drew 1-1 or still would have lost? I don't know. The other thing then I'll say is, we were still in the game for long periods, Crucial. When you look back on the two goals, I was watching them this morning. And you can see the exact moment where, for the first goal, which was Szoboszlai, Tonali was with him, and then Szoboszlai just pulls away, and Tonali is not even looking at him anymore. He's looking at the ball, and Szoboszlai is on his own in the box. And then similarly, Bruno is glued to McAllister.
Yeah.
And then the ball is kind of pushed out right, and then McAllister pulls away, and Bruno goes. They just kind of both. You don't want to say abandoned their men, but just lost a little bit of focus. It
was ball
sloppy.
It was sloppy ball watching. I was in shout out to the Goose. I was in the Goose last night with Liverpool fans. I was beyond enemy lines, just doing a bit of spy work for us with Liverpool,
which went brilliantly.
Lots of points. They were gracious about it until they got drunk, and then they basically annihilated us with lots of comments about how long more can you guys wait for a trophy? So on. But at halftime, when it was 1-0, they were all very, very wary and said, look, we haven't really got out of second gear. Like you said, Al, that's what they were saying. We're only 1-0 up. You guys are going to get chances. You guys are a good team. And I was thinking, do you know what? I was kind of expecting this to be whitewashed by halftime. But we weren't. We were still in it. And, like we were saying, that Wilson chance, if we could have brought that back to 1-1, God, who knows what would have happened, right? But it's a simple case that it's unfortunate for us to think. I don't know what you guys think, but Isak definitely is injured, right? He was injured. Some of the guys last night, Liverpool fans, were saying, you guys are pulling a silly buggers on us here. There's nothing wrong with him. You know what?
That's a crock of shit.
Why would we do that? Why would we take Isak off when we have a chance? But yeah, there was a lot of grumbles about Isak not playing because they were thinking, you guys are not even going to try in this game. And I was thinking, hang on. we are going to try. But Liverpool are scary even in second year.
Yeah,
they are, and they're by far the best team in the league. There's no doubt about it, and they deserve to win the league. And look, when you're coming up against a team in that form, it's not the end of the world to lose. We didn't embarrass ourselves. It was as we said, we were in the game for long periods. We were missing arguably 3 first-team players with Isak, Joe Linton, who I think would have made a huge difference.
Yeah,
and obviously we talk about Botman. He's still not back to Botman levels, but Liverpool are one of these teams. I was actually thinking about it today. We all remember our injury woes last season, and now we've seen it this season. Spurs are crocked. Bournemouth have awful injury issues. Villa have injury issues. Liverpool have had a relatively injury-free season. Forest also similarly. Like, both of them teams are playing the same 12, 13 players and not really having to draft in. We've been okay by comparison to last season, but we've still had our share of injuries. Thankfully, nothing too long-term. Sometimes when it goes well for you, it just goes well for you, and it's going well for Liverpool. But like I said, I wasn't terribly disappointed to lose 2-0. Disappointed by the nature of the goals, the sloppy goals conceded.
Yeah.
And then not really testing when we did have the chance, because, as I said, if Wilson puts that one away, it's 1-1, and things just get a bit nervy, especially on the Liverpool side of things.
Can we mention Nick Pope?
Alan,
I can't help
yes,
it.
Fisher, you go straight into it. So.
I'm always going to be talking about Al. You know it, right? Pinocchio legs.
Yeah.
I've had enough of him, right? That was a shocking performance against Notts Forest. Shocking performance against Liverpool. He should have got down quicker for Szoboszlai's goal. What was he doing trying to kick the ball with his left foot? It looked like he was literally on crutches, trying to kick the ball. The guy has to be sold. And I know the group was Pope out, which is not something you'd hear in the Vatican City, but look at this.
Well, you're hearing it at the moment.
Yeah,
Get well soon, Pope.
Sorry. Oh my God, holy Jesus! But look at Al, lads. I had to do it. I was holding it in. Pope was shocking last night. Shocking.
He was very, very poor. That first goal, he didn't dive, but he fell over. There was little to no attempt at getting to the ball. It was just poor. Then when Salah closed him down and he shot the bed and just kicked the ball off him, heart was in my mouth the whole time. It was actually the first time last night that I kind of lost my head in my group chat with my mates, where I was like, look, I'm actually just sick of it. I can't do it with him anymore. The whole thing was his shot stopping gets him out of jail when it comes to his detriment with his feet. We're not seeing it anymore. We are not seeing the shot stopping anymore. So it's the negatives are outweighing the positives now. So it has to be Dubravka that comes back in. Something has got to give there, and Howe has to see it. Like, he has to see it after last night.
I'm going to quickly devil's advocate, just for the sake of balance, because we're very balanced human beings here in this podcast, except when Chris was slagging off the Pope and shouting "Holy Jesus" at him. Do you think? Is it possible that Eddie Howe is looking at this going, right, Nick Pope is my number one. I want Nick Pope in goals for the Carabao Cup final.
No.
Goalkeepers also need match sharpness, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying for right or for wrong. I'm just kind of saying, potentially throwing it out there. How else does he get Nick Pope ready for a Carabao Cup final, bar giving him games to get back up to his levels? And second half against Forest, a couple of goals against Liverpool. Is he, if he's really committed to the decision of, right, he's my number one, and that's it, then he needs to give him the games. It's a possibility for me. Eddie Howe's a very loyal manager, and like I said, when it's an outfield player and they need to get back to match sharpness, it's a lot more physical. It's about the fitness. Keepers, it's about reflexes. It's about mental sharpness, and you're going up against a team in first and a team in third. That's a lot, I suppose, for a keeper who arguably isn't match sharp, particularly, as I said, in terms of just the mental aspect of the game, quick thinking, reflexes. I'm not saying that's what I think necessarily. If he plays against Brighton, I'd expect to see him play a lot better against Brighton. If he doesn't, then I'd be like, that's 3 games in a row that have been poor.
Why don't we use our 21s for that anymore?
Yeah.
That used to be a thing. When you're getting back to match sharpness, you're thrown into the 21s, the 23s, whatever you want to call it, and you're playing that until you get to some level of match sharpness, and then you're not trying to pick it up in incredibly important games where you're potentially causing issues further down the line. But I can see exactly where you're coming from. But it's just
like, is that what you guys think? Like that he's putting them into these games to get him to match sharpness, so he can justify picking him for the cup.
Well, I think he's putting him in because he trusts him, because it's Nick Pope.
Yeah.
He's been his number one keeper for how long? He's not necessarily old in goalkeeper terms or years. And he's produced some ridiculous world-class saves for us in the past and has been a good goalkeeper for us in the past, kicking aside. And if we focus on what his job is, it's to stop the ball going in the net. Granted, he hasn't done that brilliantly in the last couple of games. But as I said, if I was Eddie Howe and that was my decision was that Nick Pope is to be my number one for this cup final and for this end of season running, then I'm starting him in every game. And if you're like putting your faith into him, which I think he is, then there's no point dropping him at all, because then you're going into a final going, neither of them have confidence, neither of them have momentum or form. With a goalkeeper, you got to pick one and stick with it, in my opinion. And it looks like he's going with Nick Pope. But the FA Cup will be interesting to see then,
Yeah.
Against Brighton. Right, let's park that for now. We will talk. I think we should come back on this next week to see what happened in the FA Cup game. Because if he starts Dubravka, then it's all kind of questions. Just, I suppose, wrapping up from that game against Liverpool. I don't know if it's changed. 2 games, we won one and we lost one. Not been brilliant, not been completely horrendous. I think there's a lot of overreaction to saying how bad we were. We just haven't been great in terms of the press, in terms of things clicking. I feel like this has been us twice, if not 3 times already this season. And I think we mentioned it last week. When we've lost badly, we bounce back. If we were to go into March, or as Christian said, that crazy April in good form, maybe with a Carabao Cup trophy in the old cabinet. April and May is the biggest point of the season where, like, if we're going to be shit, I'd rather us be shit now than in April. Put it that way. So if we're that team that does the graph like the old heart monitor, basically like Christian, since he went to Newcastle last weekend, if there's going to be ups and downs, now is the time to have the downs, so that when we get to the final and beyond, maybe there's more ups from there. Oh God, this is me trying to be positive, lads. As we said, so balanced. But yeah, the players need to.
Joe Willock,
the last thing for me.
Damn it! No, hang on. Damn it! No, Joe Willock as well. Okay. Joe Willock is gone as well. I've had enough of this dude. Yeah, it was Nick Pope, and now it's Joe Willock. Joe Willock is again Bambi and all over the place. He played okay for 17 minutes against Forest. Then he did nothing. He ran around in circles, nearly knocking himself unconscious, sliding all over the place. I was thinking, hang on a second. And last night as well, it was just, oh, Christ. I just wanted to say it to Al, because Al's here. This is like my therapy. I need to see Al's reaction. Al, agree with me, will you? Just for once. Pope and Willock, they're 2. Wilson also. These guys all have to go. Wilson bundling around last night like he's a striker. He's done and dusted. Yeah, he's done and dusted. 3 of them gone.
I did say that Wilson was hiding a little bit into the second half. He was making fake runs where he's like, I am going for the ball. He wasn't really. He was below one after 45 minutes. It was his first start since May of last year. So like I'm not giving out on about that. Like, he has to get back to some sort of match sharpness. Like, that's not the end of the world. But yeah, Willock wasn't great. But Bruno wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire either. He was, as Ando said, he was running in treacle. Like, he was very, very poor yesterday. I thought
yeah, there was a moment when Konate just like ran at him and then ran past him. And it's like, Konate's a big fella. But I was just surprised at Bruno's, he was slow to keep up with him and then slow to realize it was happening, I think, as well, So, Bruno hasn't been great since he was in brilliant form in December. He got raking up the assists. And the ball has dropped slightly. Maybe we need to go back to basics.
He misses Joe Linton, I think. I think he misses playing with Joe Linton.
He just misses Joe Linton. That's the answer.
I think,
I miss Joe Linton as well. I think Joe Linton offers you so much in terms of just breaking shit down. It's not like he's a huge contributor to our like goal creation and chance creation, but he just makes life difficult for the opposition, and he brings so much. And it's
the Liverpool fans last night, Paul. They said, "Thank God Joe Linton's not playing."
Yeah, we're a lot worse without him, I think. Well, look, we might as well talk about it now. There is whispers that Isak will not be available for Brighton or the following game, Alan, which is, keep me honest, West Ham. Would he be back for West Ham? Is that
it? This is Craig Hope's confidential journal thing that he has every so often. He said not looking good for the weekend and potentially
Okay.
back for West Ham the following Monday. But if there's any talk of him being even remotely still slightly injured, rest him for the West Ham game. Get him back for the cup. We need him. We need him for the final, and that's the end of it.
We've become incredibly reliant on him.
Yeah.
But we are where we are. Do you know?
Yeah.
On the plus side, lads,
He's
Callum
the best
Wilson,
striker in
who's
the
been
world
at
for a
club-
reason.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah.
On the plus side, Callum Wilson, who's been at Newcastle for what, 5-6 years, might make his FA Cup debut. No, he did make his FA Cup debut for Newcastle as a sub. Yeah. His first FA Cup start, is it, Alan? Is that what's going to happen?
That's potentially
After 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It's mental. It's crazy that that's even a stat, but it's true.
Yeah.
He played his first FA Cup game for Newcastle in the last round. It's absolutely insane. Okay. Let's park everything that's happened in the past, Chris Show. Therapy complete. Inhale, exhale. We are going to stick with the past, though, because we're going to do a little spotlight, brighten things up on the pod this week. And let's see if we actually are still talking by the end of it. We thought it might be an interesting idea, and we'd love to get some audience interaction in the YouTube comments or Spotify, wherever you're able to make a comment, and in the WhatsApp group, lads, as well. Favorite and or best Newcastle United goals from the last 32 to 3 years from the Premier League first season, 92-93 onwards. And we haven't even talked about our own ones. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of overlap, but we're going to just start throwing out some nominations each. And I've just written down names, and I remember the goals. I don't know when they were, but I'll figure it out as we go along. And then the plan is, in a lovely, peaceful way, Krisho, to come up with a consensus on our official Irish Mags top 5 goals for Newcastle United. Alan, we'll give you a tap in, Alan. Right, Alan at the back post.
Is this number 5 now, or is this number 1? What am I going with here?
Let's go in no order. Because I'm going to ask you to prioritize them when we try to rank them together, which is going to be fun.
Right. Well, then I'll call the one that I called straight away when you said this to me earlier. Alan Shearer against Everton. The volley from 25, 30 yards where he nearly took the net out of the goal. Insane.
I'd love if I could put them on screen while we're recording the pod, but it'll add too many minutes. Hit the YouTube, lads. Write these down and then just go on YouTube on your lunch break in the toilet. You'll get a good half an hour out of this. It'll be the best half an hour of your life. Depending on your life. I watched this goal live, Alan. Have you got the year handy?
I think it's 02, 03. Hang on.
Yeah. No, sorry. When I say live, I mean I was watching it on TV. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I remember watching it as a what I
2002.
2002, lads. I was 15 going on 16. I remember watching
I was 9 and I remember it myself.
Yeah. I was up in the armchair. You were a Man United fan, Krisha.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up again.
So harsh, lads.
Talk us through the goal, Alan, because there's an assist in this goal that I also love.
Oh, yes. So Shay Given we're 1-0 down to Everton. Shay Given has the ball in his hand and he just launches the thing. Shout at me, he flicks the ball back towards Alan Shearer and you're going, take a touch, look for a pass. And he just unleashes an absolute thunder bastard of a volley into the top corner.
Kicks the living fuck out of it is all I could do.
Nigel Martin was in goal, I think, and full-length dive did not get a sniff of the thing. It was in the back of the net before he set himself. It unbelievable volley. Have a look at it if you haven't seen it. It's sensational.
It's proper wider over stuff. Yeah, wider over.
This is even up there. I would say this is one of the best volleyed goals in the Premier League history.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best goals, but one of the best volleyed goals. And volleyed goals are the best because they're just smacked to shit. And like if you were to ask me in the pub on the spot, best Newcastle goal, that would probably be the first one that would come to my mind because it was just emphatic. Unbelievable. Okay, it's a shout. It'll do well not to enter the top 5, but let's see what's coming, Chris.
Yeah, look, I got a Shearer list, unbelievably, even though Shearer's scored all kinds of goals that are literally unbelievable. But I kind of thought ones that I'd ever seen live, because I'm a lot older than the lads, or I'm not like 1974 Cup final old, but I'm close, right? But the one I'm going to start off with anyway is David Batty's chip, David Beckham chip from halfway against Wimbledon in August 2006.
Yes.
We won 2-0. Alan Shearer scored his first goal for the club in that game from a free kick. But everyone talks about that, but nobody ever talks about David Batty's literally the same goal David Beckham scored, where he chipped the goalkeeper from literally the halfway. and we went 1-0 up after some pretty poor start to the season. So that got us back in a good mood at St James's. I watched it back again this afternoon. And I thought, God damn, that was a good goal from somebody that's not really known for scoring goals, you know. There you go, David Batty, 2006.
David Batty.
It's
I wasn't expecting that to
1996.
Oh, sorry, 19. Sorry,
Yeah, I was like,
sorry. In 2006, sorry.
Something with a 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan, you're writing these down, Alan. I hope, because I'm going to talk. I'm going to stay with 1996, lads. One of my favorite goals of my childhood. At the time when I had this player's name on the back of my Newcastle kit, the old Newcastle brown, had 3 buttons. David Ginola. Oof. Now, he scored a couple of nice goals for Newcastle. This one is against Ferencváros.
Yes.
Alan is nodding here. So this goal, basically, he kind of takes it. He's like edge of the box. It kind of comes into him on the hop. He kind of flicks it once and then flicks it over another player and then just buries it. It's kind of like elements of Bergkamp about it as well, I suppose. It's the best way you could describe the touch and the technique. And I just remember going out to the back garden with my brother trying to recreate that goal. And there were more balls went out over the hedge into the next field than went into the back. And then I can tell you that much. I loved that goal. Alan, you remember that goal by the looks of it?
Yeah, that was a cracker of a goal. I think we'd lost the game previous to it, and we were it was a Champions League qualifier or something like that, and we were under the cosh, and then he done that, and it was like, all right, we're all right. This is all good.
Glorious.
Unbelievable, buddy.
Excellent. Shout. Okay, let's keep the shouts coming. We'll rattle through them.
So my next one is, I'm going to mix 2 goals in together because they're basically the same goal. So it's Hatem Ben Arfa. You can pick his Bolton goal or his Blackburn goal, where he picks the ball up inside our half, beats 15 men somehow, even though there's only 11 on the pitch. And
he beat some of our players as well.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking ball of that?
The only way to describe that goal, those goals, is there's something Lionel Messi would have done. It was just insane. You couldn't get near him. It was mental. It
was the Bolton one that came to my head when I thought of this list. I put Ben Arfa down, but I was for the Bolton one. Chris, you remember that one?
I love this. Honestly, this is like. I mean, I know we're all like. I have nothing against Alan Pardew, but Pardew did really, really well, and one of the main components of that was keeping Hatem Ben Arfa happy and getting him to play the way he likes to play. Those 2 goals were astonishing. They were astonishing. The first time I ever saw either of them, I was like, "Oh, good Lord, he's from a different planet." Like, some of the defenders and some of the players were just watching him. They were just enjoying him doing what he was doing. They weren't even trying to tackle him. I know on one of them, I don't know which one it was, Al, but he kind of had to skip away because one of the guys was trying to murder him from behind.
Yeah.
Like he tried to completely poleaxe him, but he just got away. And his momentum, I think he nearly dazzled the goalkeepers. They didn't know what to do. Before they knew it, was past them. That's 2 of the best goals I've ever seen anyway. 2012, Al, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2012, Pardew's super season, I think.
Could have been an unbelievable footballer if he just liked it a bit more, I think is the way to describe it, as in like the work that comes with it, I suppose. Okay. Good shout, Alan. Chris Shaw.
Christmas 2001, Newcastle beat Leeds United 4-3, and they came back from 3-1 down, and Nobby Solano, it's just because of the commentary, the fact that it was near snow and lashing rain, sleet, the fact that we didn't really play well until the last 20 minutes as such, and Solano comes up with kind of not so much exactly like the goal for Brazil against Italy in 1970 in the World Cup final, but very much laid across the box and laid off to him, and he just thumped it. He caught it so well, and I think it was the last minute. I think it was 91st minute or something. But after beating Arsenal the couple of days before, we were top. We were top of the league.
Top of the league at Christmas.
Top of the league. So not only did it was very important, but it was a sensational snatch and grab against Leeds United in 2001. So Nobby Solano, trumpet boy, got to give it to him. That was class goal.
Love it. I have a few Solano ones in my mind as well. Yeah, just for the old-fashioned right footer on the right wing.
Yeah,
but to still be able to cut inside and score, you just don't see as much of that anymore. Apart from Jacob Murphy scoring with his nipple, apparently, according to Chris Shaw. Don't think Solano scored any with his nipple, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong, folks. Okay, my next one is 2 years later. And I suppose you could argue it's 2 together as well, because it's in the same game from the same player. And it's Laurent Robert against Spurs.
Oh,
and And I'm sure we're going to talk about a similar game for a slightly more recent player who got 2 goals in one game as well. But he scored an unbelievable kind of a volley on a bit of a stretch from outside the box. And you think, oh, what a goal. But it's the second goal for me. He kind of picks it up. And again, he's just on the left-hand side with his left foot, running along in space. And he does this thing where he kind of looks up and he realizes the shot's on. And it's one of those goals where if you're in the ground, you just hear, shoot. and as he's kind of running at speed, and then he just slows down. He kind of slows down his jog. And then he just fucking lamps the ball. And it goes straight in. It's a rocket. Top right-hand corner, I think. And I mean, he 10 goals from Laurent Robert probably could make this list, but that for me was my favorite.
Yeah, not true. Wow, good
His left foot. His left foot should be in the Louvre, so it should.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a lot of good goals here. We've got a few more nominations to come. We'll do 2 more nominations each, lads,
Right.
and that will give us what 12 goals to pick from.
Right,
Alan.
I'm gonna go rogue with my next one then. I don't know if anyone will pick it. Do you remember Laurent Robert scored the weird like bicycle backflip goal against Stoke?
Scorpion kind of. Yes.
That's for just sheer mentalness of a goal. It was only 6 yards out, but he like done like a
the acrobatics, the athleticism of it all. Yeah. Wow, that's unbelievable. That was against. Remind me, that was against someone we played recently.
Stoke.
No, I don't think it was. Because this was we played someone recently, and it was the same team he scored that against. Even the club tweeted it out as well as like a throwback. I'm certain it was somebody we played recently. Who did we play recently? Well, we played lots of fucking teams recently. I'm nearly sure it's someone we played in the last month. So while Alan is checking that, Chris Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you got your next nomination?
I do. I was at this game. I won £92 in the bookies because I picked the right score and I picked the right scores, which I don't usually do, but at this stage I did. Beautiful sunny day, Newcastle jersey. I was very close to the action again that day too. And Demba Ba scored against Spurs. I think it was like maybe the second or third game of the season, maybe the second game of the season. Early August, well, middle August. And the absolute wonder strike, basically. He must have had his strawberry drink that day, because honest to God, that strike. Because I was kind of by beside it, and we all grew up playing football. But my God, when Demba Ba was on, he was great. The strike was unbelievable. Basically, it was people say wonder strikes. This was a wonder strike. It set up the whole day to just be glorious. I think it was 26 yards out, curling monster strike, basically. Wonderful goal. And being there, seeing it live, I was thinking, damn, I love Demba Ba. I think we had him on loan. Didn't we have him on loan?
No, we signed him permanent, so he just left. And released 8 million.
8 million, right? We got him from Chelsea, didn't we? Or we sold him?
No, we sold him to Chelsea.
Where did we get Demba Ba from, lads?
West Ham. It was on a free transfer from West Ham, yeah.
West Ham, Demba Ba.
And I think he fail. I think he barely passed a medical as well.
He did fail a medical.
Something we'd rarely do.
Yeah. That Robert goal was against Fulham, by the way. Sorry.
It was okay. And we did play Fulham not that long ago, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Okay. Back to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I had I had a goal. First I thought of one because Krisha, you mentioned being there live, and I was there live when Kabay scored against Man United in Old Trafford to beat them 1-0. And I told you this before. I was there with my parents and my brother, who were all Man United fans, and I was literally like stuck in the Man United season ticket holder side of things. But Kabay scored a better goal than that. And I feel like a set piece needs to go in here, even though we're not using enough of them. And Ryan Taylor gets a shout out here as well. But Kabay scored a free kick against Man United that was absolutely gloriously struck.
Wow, what a strike!
And for me, just a goal like that for me sums up what an absolute bargain he was. Bought him for 4 million and sold him on for 20-25, whatever it was. I just feel like that goal, I don't know, it just summarized what a great player he was for us. A bargain, and it was against fucking Man United, so we're all delighted with that.
It was a top beam goal, wasn't it? It was right in the corner of the
Just
angle.
perfectly
Underside of the
executed.
crossbar.
It was so delicious. Yeah, good call. Good call.
The only man that could beat a free kick like that would be Ian Hart, but it would be on his left, so it wouldn't have gone in. Okay.
Right.
Are we doing one more each?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, I'm worried you aren't going to say because I've got 2 left in my head. So
We could do honorable mentions, and we.
Okay, I'll go with the one that I think should win the list, and it's the obvious one. It's Papi's Dembele's volley against Chelsea.
Yeah,
where he had
to come.
No right to put the ball in the back of the net from where he was standing. You could put him there from the day he done that to today, and he probably wouldn't have done it again. It was a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah.
Mental.
Good shout out. Stunning goal against Peter Cech as well. Like, what a goalkeeper. I mean, Christ
He's 2
almighty.
goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first goal that game was insane as well.
Unreal as well. Like, yeah, they were both just like, who's this guy? Like, what? Like, as January signings go, you'll find it hard to find a better signing than Papi Cisse was. Just came in, hit the ground running. You know, they talk about how long it takes players to get up and running. Cisse was like, "Fuck that, lads! I'm ready. I'm going scoring goals.
I'll score."
That for me, it'll do well not to make the top 5.
Yeah.
No. 100%,
Okay.
100%.
Chris, show your last pick.
My last pick, and it's somebody that I truly loved playing for Newcastle. I saw him live maybe, 10 or 11 times when he played for us. I loved him, essentially. He was on the back of my jersey because he had my favourite number, which is 18. So Jonas Gutierrez's goal against West Ham after he'd come back from his it basically secured us in the Premier League. The emotion before the scoring, the run, the strike. Okay, the goalkeeper could have done a bit better with it, but everything about it was really how much it kind of compounded again how much I love the football club and everything around it. And Mike Ashley was up to his dirty tricks back then, and the way he celebrated, it was everything about that day, the way we secured it. But the fact that it was Jonas Gutierrez and that he did the run, and I was thinking, what's he doing here? Just pass it. But to score, it was magic. So that's my one. It's in 2015, Jonas Gutierrez versus West Ham.
The commentary for that goal makes the hairs on my neck stand up. It's just the ball goes into the back of the net. He's celebrating in front of Mike Ashley because he's just been told he's not staying with us. Commentator just says, Jonas Gutierrez, the man who knows the true meaning of survival 3 months after beating cancer. That is just insane.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Unreal.
I had Jonas on my list. I actually have a couple of goals, just really quickly, because I'm not going to pick them for my last pick. If we were to sit here and do moments, like ranking top 5 moments, I think that's where I'd have Jonas. And I'd probably have, this is where I'd have Bruno's header against Leicester, the diving header. Not necessarily fantastic goals, but just like all important.
Massive goals,
moments of euphoria. Yeah. So maybe that's one for future podcasts as well. I'm torn here. I kind of think we need a modern goal in here, like a more recent goal. And I'm stuck on 2 lads, so you can help me. I'm going to ask both of you to help me vote for my last one because I just can't. I'm torn between Cher against PSG because fuck me. Just the fact that he wins the ball, hands it off, gets it back, and just kicks the shit out of it straight into make it 4-1 against PSG in the Champions League was just such a good finish. It shows you how good he is with his feet. But like Isak's goal against Liverpool, I nearly fell off the chair here watching it. I went absolutely mental. I think I didn't wake the neighbors, but should have got noise complaints. It just smashes. There's something about smashing the ball in. And I was going to say Isak setting up Murphy kind of against Everton with the mazy run. But between the fact that he didn't get the assist because it was deflected and the fact he didn't score it, it just doesn't get in there for me. So I'm between Isak against Liverpool and Cher against PSG. One word, Alan. Which one?
Isak against Liverpool.
Okay, Chris Shaw.
Cher against PSG for a defender.
I knew you were going to do this to me, you fuckers.
To make the tackle, everything else, and to make himself available that late in the game and to shoot after slipping over.
Do you know what? I'm going with Cher because I love the fact that he won the ball, basically created his own goal and absolutely smashed it for a centre back. Okay, I'm on board with Cher. Okay, that's my last pick. Fuck, this is going to be hard.
Well,
right.
No, hang on a minute. We can't have this list without having Alan Shearer's side foot volley against Aston Villa not even
I was
be in the
just going to
conversation.
say that. I was just going to say
Like
that.
that goal.
Yeah,
is
we bring in a new rule that we can't have two players in the top two. One player can't be
we
two
can't have two.
players.
Right, grand. Yeah, that's cool.
Or
Harsh enough as it is.
Alan Shearer's goal against Chelsea, where he turned Marcel Desailly and basically
Yeah.
shot a shot at like 280 miles an hour. The goalkeeper didn't even see it. You know what I mean? So that's another one.
Oh, there's loads, lads. Andy Cole had some unbelievable goals, like just unbelievable finishes.
Shola Amiobi versus Barcelona. Come on.
Jesus. I can't cope with all this. Okay, we need to call a halt, lads. We don't have enough time.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm assuming, before we rank them, Shearer against Everton is unanimously in?
Yes.
I would say Cisse against Chelsea.
Yes.
Unanimously in. Mm-hmm. This is where it gets tricky now.
Mm.
I would say it would be an injustice to humanity if Laurent Robert doesn't have a goal in here.
I agree.
For the volume.
It has to be the 40-yarder against Tottenham, let's be honest.
The Spurs, okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's 3. Now we get to have fun.
Right, okay.
One nomination each for the top 5 from your own list, lads. Alan.
I'm going to go Ben Arfa against Bolton for just the sheer skill of everything that he done.
Right, for sure. You can see Alan and agree, or you can raise and put forward one of your own nominations.
No, I agree, but I would like to have David Batty in there because he was a great servant for the club, great player, and that goal is from a midfielder who doesn't score goals. So it was majestic. Okay. Everybody on this podcast who listens, go back and watch that goal. That is a very impressive goal. Very impressive.
Okay.
And he meant it. And he meant it. I mean, it's not like he just tried. He meant it.
Yeah. I'm actually looking it up here to remind myself while we're chatting.
I think he'd lobbed Neil Sullivan as well after he got lobbed by David Beckham. I think he got double lobbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just watched it there. I mean, the quality of the video is shocking, but I can see it. Okay, it's a lovely goal.
We've totally forgotten about one, and we're gonna kick the head off each other.
Well, the one it dawned on me we didn't mention was Tiote.
It's Tiote's goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, and I was talking about
that's
moments.
A great
that was
goal
another
too.
One for me. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
What about Philippe Albert against Man United to make it
Jesus, that's getting out of control.
Oh yeah, maybe we need a top 10. Can we get a top 10?
I still was going to nominate Ginola as well. Okay.
Oh, we need a top 10, I think. Yeah.
This is tough now. Philippe Albert has totally changed the game here. I would put Tiote in the moments one alongside Jonas and alongside Bruno. And I think that's where I would say we put that one and it'll probably top it.
Right.
Oh, God. We've got 2 spots, lads. We've got Ben Arfa, we've got Batty, we've got Ginola, and we've got... Was there another one?
Albert's goal, no?
Albert.
Yeah.
Albert might actually just be a late entrance to this for the sheer iconic nature of that goal.
Yeah.
Okay, I would back Ben Arfa. Let's pick 2 each. I'm going Ben Arfa and Albert. I've totally changed. Sorry, David Ginola. Respect.
I'm the same. I'll go the same.
Okay. Philippe Albert up at the last minute, injury time, VAR. And we just forgot to mention that's just smashed into the top 5.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God.
Fair play. I don't know. I don't even know how there's just too many. There's too many goals, lads.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shearer, Cisse, Robert, Ben Arfa, Albert. I mean, I'd probably go Shearer, Robert, Cisse, Ben Arfa, Albert. So I'd put Robert's 40-yarder ahead of Cisse for me. That would be my only change, but I'd be interested to hear what you lads think, just for the order, to make it official.
I'd have Cisse's goal second. I know Robert's strike was amazing. I'd have Cisse's.
Alan, it's on you. It's on you, my friend.
I'd have Cisse's goal first.
Oh fuck! ahead of Shearer against Everton.
Ahead of Shearer's against Everton.
Yeah, you're right, Al.
Like.
It's 1 in a billion.
Throw in down the line. Shola Amiobi flicks it down to him, and as Amiobi himself says, he shouted at Cisse to have a go, son, and he did, and it rattled him. Yeah, like where he's standing to where the ball ends up doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it worked perfectly. It's if you gave Shearer 1,000 more strikes at that volley, he would have gotten a few of them similar. You give Cisse 1,000 attempts at that, I don't think you're getting one similar.
That for me makes it a bit fluky.
Still, though, there was a massive amount of skill involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm still Shearer number one. I'd be willing to go Cisse too, based on Alan's argument, but I can't get away from that. Shearer goal just sums everything up about being a Newcastle fan. And so, Chris, I'm going to defer to you for: is it Shearer top or is it Cisse top?
No,
if you turn around and say fucking David Batty, I'm just going to end the podcast.
No, it's Shearer top.
Okay. Yeah, so, okay, we'll go with that. I mean, these are not bad. This is not a bad way to end up in fairness.
Yeah.
No.
So Shearer number 1, Cisse number 2, Robert number 3, Ben Arfa 4, Albert 5.
Yeah, brilliant. That's actually very good.
Well, I tell you what, that's a YouTube montage waiting to happen there and get copyrighted and closed down on the spot
instantly.
But that is the official. Is it Chris Shaw? He's about to stop me there.
There's a notable mention for Jeff Hendrick's strike against West Ham.
I knew he was going to affect it too. We nearly got there. We were so close. So that's our official top 5 Newcastle United goals of that Premier League era. Shearer, Cisse, Robert, Ben Arfa, and Philippe Albert, with loads of honourable mentions. And as we said, lads, we'll come back to the top 5 moments, I think, because that would be a ranking in itself. And listeners, viewers, make sure to share your own top 5 in the comments. Have we got it right? Have we got it wrong? We all screaming at us for about 15 minutes before we remembered the Philippe Albert goal because we're all tired and it's late and it's been an emotional week.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts. Right, before we wrap up, boys and girls, we need to quickly preview the weekend's activities. Newcastle against Brighton. 1:45 kickoff on Sunday. Did I dream that?
No.
Why are we getting Newcastle Liverpool was 8:15 and now we're getting 1:40? Why are we getting these on the 15-minute mark matches? I don't understand.
It's times for television. It's
all
the usual.
Do you know why this is? Because games are dragging on so long at the end because they're now adding 10 minutes of injury time that they're losing out on fucking ad revenue and shit like that, I'd say. Okay. We've already mentioned Isak might be a doubt. Probably the only doubt I've heard. I don't expect Joe Linton or Botman back unless any of you tell me otherwise.
Botman was in contention, but he was again one of the ones where you're going, he could be back. If it could be back, leave him to West Ham. We cannot afford any more injuries. Yeah,
agreed.
I'd also I'd rotate this game. I'm not saying play the 21s and forget about the FA Cup. I'd give a couple of fringe players a run out. I'd start Trippier. I'd start Target. Probably start Longstaff. Give Bruno a rest because he is crying out for one.
Yeah. Put Miley in.
You start Barnes. I'd start Asula over Wilson and bring Wilson on for half an hour. Yeah. See what we can do.
We have to be careful here if we do want to progress the FA Cup. The last time we played Brighton at home was in October and we lost 1-0. So there's a bit of form there. In fact, in the last 3 games, lads, which were all in the Premier League, we didn't beat them at all. It was 1-1 at home in May last season, and then we lost 3-1 away last season as well. So it's not to be underestimated, I would say, even though they've been up and down.
Our pal Evan Ferguson, did he go to West Ham on loan? He did.
Yeah, he went to West Ham on loan, yeah.
All right, we'll just worry about him.
He's on loan, yeah.
We'll worry about him later.
I mean, Minta hasn't scored against us yet. Anderson hasn't scored against us yet. Dare I say it, but let's just go straight into it. Alan, give us a score prediction.
2-1 to Newcastle.
Take that. Chris Shaw.
It obviously depends on the team. Let's see. Sunday. It's a Sunday, is it, or Saturday? Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday
1:45.
Sunday. We don't usually play very well. It's early on a Sunday. Oh God, we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win on penalties. I think it's gonna be 2-2. Is it go to penalties? Yes. Let's go straight to penalties, or is it a replay?
I have no idea.
No idea. I mean, we never hang around the FA Cup long enough to know.
No, actually, is that just the League Cup then? That just goes straight to. Hang on a bloody second.
Time or
3-2.
I'm good.
Right, 3-2.
Going for.
If not,
are there replays? Extra time and penalties. I've just quickly seen something from TalkSport, and they
It's
would
only
never
from
like
it's only from the 5th round on that you have extra time, or that you don't have extra time.
Right. Okay. So we win on penalties. 2-2 at full time.
You're probably not a million miles wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna go. I think 2-1 is a good shout, but just to be not agreeing with Alan, I'll throw in a 2-0. Let's get a clean sheet back, and Nick Pope proves Chris Shaw wrong on the Pinocchio legs.
He won't. He won't though. He won't.
But he might. He might.
won't.
He might.
Look,
Excellent
He
stuff,
might.
lads. Let's see. Fingers crossed that we're all right, because all three of us are predicting that we go through in the FA Cup, and it would be nice to keep that going as well. Because it's like the season still has so much to give, and it still has the makings of what could be a very good season for us.
Paul, one of my predictions was that we win the FA Cup. Everyone's focusing here on the League Cup. We get to the FA Cup final and we win.
Smoke screen. We only want the FA Cup. Speaking of predictions, lads, I mentioned it in the chat. One of the we did a prediction show back in early January, and we were looking at what are our predictions for the next 12 months. And one of the things I mentioned was that we will start to see Tino and Hall linked with moves. I was thinking kind of summer. And already in the last week, now you can question the sources, but already in the last 3 days, there was a big old Liverpool page going on about Newcastle looking at Livermento if Trent is to go. And then I can't even remember who it was. It was a journalist at the Telegraph, Michael McGrath, I think with Guardian, or I can't remember, who was calling Lewis Hall to Man City. So I don't want either of the things to happen, but I'm not surprised, particularly with Lewis Hall. I'm just not surprised that clubs are looking at, again, class players we have that are ours and not theirs. Go fuck yourselves.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good way to wrap up. Alan, before we officially end the show, that is you. Talk to us about the weekend's events from an Irish Mags meetups perspective.
So the usual meetup in the Bleaker will be on from, say, 12:45 onwards, as they could pop up on screen there for you. So that's Bleaker Street Bar, 68 Dorset Street, Upper Dublin. We have our usual Cork contingent in Quinlan's Bar, which is 18 Watercourse Road, Blackpool, County Cork. Or if you fancy seeing a few Irish Mags on tour of Ireland, myself included, come along to the Old Quarter, which is in Little Ellen Street, Limerick, which is in St. Prior's Land. Because we will be in Limerick on a little bit of a tour from I'd say about 12 o'clock on Saturday, depending on Sunday, depending on trains. So yeah, if you're in and around any of those locations, you're always more than welcome. And it's the more the merrier, as they say, isn't it?
Yeah, stuff.
Absolutely. Limerick is the place to be, or get barred from, depending on who you are. Tevin Farid, we all know you're in Limerick already, causing absolute havoc. Delhi, always great to have 3 meetups, lads. So Irish Mags all over the place. Try and get yourselves down if you're anywhere in the vicinity. We'll have loads traveling to the game as well. As usual, get all the pics, all the snaps. Feel free to do your own match day vlogs. And we have to shout out Chris Shaw's match day blog that's currently on the irishmags.com website, where he reflected on our adventures at the Forest game that we managed to avoid talking about for a whole hour because we don't want to divulge what me and Chris Shaw got up to. But have a look on the website, because it's a lovely, beautifully written reflection on Chris Shaw's time in Newcastle, because it's been a while since he got there.
I have bruised knees. I have bruised knees. Who knew?
Bruised knees and a bruised ego. And that bombshell, let's bring episode 65 to a close. We will be back next week. We're not retiring, sadly. But yeah, as usual, thank you all for listening. Check out the Irish Mag website, all the latest pictures of travels and meetups, blogs, everything you need to know, all on the website, as well as the details on this weekend's meetups, and all our social media links are below as you're looking at our lovely faces. We'll be back for more Irish Magnus next week. So until then, we shall say, "Howay the lads, slán go fóill," and we'll see you all very soon. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Slán a bhaile.
Slán. See you, lads.
Slán indeed.